Okay, Jess, so you've been a personal trainer for 6 years, full-time, and you've had a lot of experience with women as different clients and exercise, and I just wonder what the overlying themes you come across or issues you come across a lot, and advice you would give based on your experience.
Sure. I guess I have two things. So when I first started training, I guess my advice for women would have been to kind of embrace the idea of strength training, because a lot of women think, A, it'll make them bulky, which it doesn't, or it's not for them.
Well, it doesn't with the right trainer.
To be more open to the idea of strength training, because a lot of women just come to the gym and pick a cardio machine and then do some crunches that aren't really effective and then leave. So that kind of, maybe the first 2 or 3 years I trained, that would have been my advice, is to embrace it and learn to love it, because it really is important, not just to feel better, but for bone health and all of that other stuff that we don't really think about. But within the past probably 2 years, I've learned, and this doesn't go across the board for every woman, but myself included, I think we start to have a very negative relationship with exercise and the way we look and the way we feel and like the foods we eat and the drinks we drink. So I think now my advice would be to not treat exercise like a solution to...
As punishment too.
Right, as punishment, like I ate poorly, whatever that's supposed to mean, I need to exercise to work it off, or I need to get ready for quote-unquote bikini season, which is a whole nother thing we could talk about.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I think learning to treat exercise as just something that's a part of your life, something that you can use to make you feel really good.
I think focusing on health versus self-image, I think that's kind of the key, because when I did that, when I made that switch from looking at myself in the mirror and obsessing about what my stomach looked like all the time or whatever, all of us do that or have done that at one point in our lives, and focusing on health, being healthy, it completely changed my approach to it. And it's so much easier to integrate that as a part of your life when you're coming at it from that perspective versus this whole, oh my gosh, I need to go work out because I had a taco over the weekend.
Right. And I think that, it's definitely easier said than done. And for me, I think it's one of the hardest things to help women understand. And I even think about it sometimes too, but I feel like trying to practice that sort of mindset rather than using exercise as punishment or as a solution to a problem that you think you have, I think kind of rearranging the way you think is probably would be my advice for women now.
Yeah, well, and also disregarding the media. I think we are put in front of all this stuff all the time that's such bullshit, in my opinion, and it makes me so angry because it's the stuff that we see on TV that is completely unrealistic, and they represent 2% of the population, and they're essentially freaks of nature. I mean that nicely. You look at all these beautiful people all the time that are really unrealistic, and we are made to feel like we should look like that, and that's our standard of beauty and acceptance and all that, and that just isn't reasonable, and it's creating all these issues. And so then exercise plays into that, because it's this stress that we have to begin with, and then exercise is supposed to solve that. Well, that relationship isn't really going to be very smooth or very good when you're coming at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I think something is changing though. There's some articles in the media now, or even some people that are on Instagram that will even show, like, this is what I look like when I sit. I have belly rolls, that's normal. Or this is what I did to change the lighting and the angle so that I can appear to look a certain way. So I think there is a very small percentage of people that are starting to be more real and be like, you know what, this is who I am, and this is who you should be as well.
You've done that too. I remember a blog post you put up, and you said that, and you really put all of it in perspective, because it's, how people perceive you as a personal trainer. You must always be fit, and you must always be perfect.
Pizza.
You too. I remember that post. So that's really good, and it takes some courage, and it takes, it's great that you put out stuff that's real and that women can look at, and it'll lead them toward health versus more stress and more self-image issues and all that stuff. So good job on that.
So thank you.